You're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and we're talking about cedar wood and witchcraft. This piece is awesome. Look at the bug holes and whatnot. Cedar wood and witchcraft. So sit down with me. We're listening to a little bit of music. We're listening to Sublime live. It's called Stand By Your Van. Really good album. Okay, so cedar wood. I got this piece from Peggy's, and she uses it for kindling in her fireplace. It's really gorgeous. I don't know if you can see how beautiful the sheen of that wood is. Really gorgeous. I would love to have furniture made out of this with no stain on it. Man, I'd love that. It is a splintery wood though. It's quite easy to burn, and it kind of flakes apart. Flakes apart really easy, you know? So good for kindling in the fireplace. So I found cedar in 3 books. 2 are Scott Cunningham's and 1 is Starr Casas. Remember when we were reading about conjure? I thought I remembered reading about magical woods in conjure and cedar in particular, and I was right. So I'm going to start out reading from this. If you haven't watched my hoodoo videos, make sure to check them out. I'm completely inspired by this book, and the other hoodoo book that I'm inspired by is this one, which I haven't shared with you too much, but it was from start to finish. Like, I could not put it down, and it's by the author is Hoodoo Sen Moise, or M-O-I-S-E, Sen Moise, and man, from start to finish, amazing stuff. But some of it kind of butts heads with what I'm learning from Primitive Roots, and I really feel like the information she's giving is super pure. And I have reasons for that, and I know that not everybody loves her channel, but I do, and I recommend it. So, let's talk about Starr Casas and what she says about cedarwood in old-style conjure, hoodoo, rootwork, and folk magic. Alright, just a little bit. Cedarwood, worked with for protection and also for rotting a relationship. Got that, guys? Protection and rotting a relationship. Have you ever noticed how a cedar tree always rots from the inside out? Well, when reading that, I'm thinking, is it talking about this, and are these not bug holes, but are they instead rot? So I'll have to, like, do a little more research on that, and if you guys know, please let me know. This tree makes for some powerful conjure work. And that's the bulk of what it says, but I will tell you what it says about trees in general. You can work with any tree in conjure. I do feel that you need to know a little about the different types of trees. When you know their characteristics, you will find many ways to work with them. All roots, herbs, and trees are worked with in the spirit they hold inside. That spirit, when it is fed, will give your work the added power it needs to be a success. And what I think Starr is talking about a little bit there is what I'm always trying to mention, at least to you guys. Yes, mandrake root is good for 3 or 4 things, but I can use it for anything. Just like you could do with mugwort or cinnamon or whatever. Yes, they have tons of properties, but money isn't a property of mugwort. However, you can adapt it. You can adapt any herb or any tree or any root or any dirt if you have enough focus and you have enough visualization and you're able to push your intention in the right direction. So remember that, and hoodoo really teaches us that. Don't go out and get stuff. Use what you have around you, which I love. So that's what I found in Starr's book on cedar, and in particularly a little bit about trees. So next, we will talk about Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia for Magical Herbs, which is like my witchcraft Bible in a way, because I use it. You know, it's been 3 or 4 years since I've not use this every single day. What I'm saying is, the last time I skipped a day using this book was 3 or 4 years ago. I take it on trips with me. It's in my purse. Like, I'm serious. So, I got a little bit of a stomach ache there. Weird. So, what does it say? Cedar. I'm going to show you the picture here because it does show, like, the cones and whatnot. And I wonder if this is a cedar cone over here. I'm not sure. Need to get better with my cones. But these are 2 local cones to us in the Pacific Northwest. This is a pine cone, I believe, and I don't know if that's cedar or not. If you guys know, tell me. Thank you. Okay. Cedar. Gender is masculine. Planet is the sun. Element is fire. And when you look at it, all those things make sense. Masculine because it's a wood, it's a tree, makes sense. And then planet the sun, it's bright yellow, it's really beautiful, shining like the sun, like my hair. Element fire also makes sense because this is what we use to create fire and keep the fire going. Powers: healing, purification, money, and protection. So, make sure you're adding cedar into your money workings, your protection workings, your healing, and your purification workings. I can tell you why I know that this is protective, because fire protects a home. It keeps the home warm, where everybody can continue to breathe and live throughout the night, you know, when it's at its coldest time. So, woods are so protective. I'm telling you this so that you maybe can remember some of its qualities later when you go to think of it and you don't have your notes from this video, because I know that a lot of you are good at writing in your books of shadows and stuff. Like, you guys, that's amazing. I don't have a book of shadows. I type my spells on the typewriter, and then now I make YouTube videos of pretty much everything I'm doing for like a digital log of it. It's not smart though. I adore the Holly Witch's spell book so much, and she's getting ready to get hers bound. If you guys haven't seen her channel, check it out. But hers is probably the most beautiful one I've ever seen. The way that she writes them out and the time that she takes and the artist that she is, man. Okay, so cedar, the magical uses. The smoke of the cedar is purifying, and it also cures the predilection. What is that? Predilection? Of having bad dreams. Oh, what? I just did a video on bad dreams. Well, now we know. Bad dreams. I'll have to add that in the comments of the video. Twigs of the cedar are burned and smoldered or made into incense. And we talked about twigs of the cedar. I think that would be not like a shard of this, but a twig like what would come out of the very tops of the branches, the little twigs that you would make your besom with or something like that. So that would be, you can burn that for incense. Now, sadly, I did look in this book of Scotty's and I couldn't find cedar at all, and I know that it's got to be in here because when we get into this book he talks about incenses, and he wrote a book on incense. So I know some of you have this book. If you know how to find cedar in it, please let me know. That's Scott Cunningham's complete book of incense, oils, and brews. Back to cedar here. To heal colds, they are placed upon hot rocks in sweat baths for purification by some American Indians. So that would be like a Native American Indian type of thing. Cedar hung in the home protects it against lightning strikes. So even if you just tied a string to this and had this hanging in your house, it would look so silly, I'm sure. You could wrap hemp around it. You could put some beads on it. I mean, you could make this look really nice. And if someone wants to see a video on that, let me know. I'll do one. But you have to tell me in comments or else I don't know. And I also like to credit the person that I do videos on. So, you know, even if I just use your YouTube name and what city you're from, I think it's fun. Because I want everybody to know that I can make you videos a lot of times in the same day. Alright, so that's what I'm here for. It makes my heart feel good to do that for you guys. So please, you know, utilize me for that. Cedar hung in the home protects it against lightning strikes. A cedar stick carved into 3 prongs is placed prongs up. And, okay, so if you had a cedar stick, and let's say it was taller, and you carved 3 prongs into it like this, like it would look like waves maybe. I'm thinking that's what we're talking about. I'm just guessing. So that's step 1, is carving 3 prongs into a piece of cedar, and then it's placed up into the ground near the home to protect it against all evil. Evil eye as well, y'all. A piece of cedar kept in the wallet or purse, like this in a talisman, or literally in your wallet or purse, just at the bottom, wherever. You could even wrap it up in a piece of cloth so you didn't get a, you know, splinter. But it draws money, and cedar is used in money incenses. Again, Scotty, why am I not finding it in here? Cedar is added to love sachets and is burned to induce psychic powers. Sachet. So, burn to induce psychic powers. You could, you know, I could certainly add cedar, since I know it can be burned for psychic powers. I could add it into this hoodoo oil lamp I did. This one is all for psychic opening, you know, opening the third eye, psychic awareness, and astral projection. I've got loads of things in here. Make sure you check out that video. So I'm almost to 400 videos now, you guys. I'm really excited about that. And as long as I have these books, we will never, ever, ever run out of videos. It's amazing. Like, I'm so amped up and pumped up about everything that we do here today. And it's as easy as going to your mom's house and going, I bet that's in my Scott Cunningham book, pulling this out of your purse and going, yep, it is, and I bet it's in 5 more of my books. Grabbing this, as well as I'm about to do a video on ash and fireplace ash. She had a whole bag of fireplace ash just sitting there. Ash of cedar. What else do they have in their wood? They have cedar, pine, a couple of other things, and I was just like, oh my gosh, these are going to be so good, so powerful. That ash protected my parents with warmth of their home. Like, they don't run the furnace, they run the fireplace. Okay, so there is a note. Juniperus variegata is often used in place of cedar. So junipers can be used in place of cedar. Maybe that's... Yep. Junipers all throughout here, so maybe they just did it that way. I don't know. Now we're on to the last book. Thank you, Scotty. Kiss your things, you guys. They love you, you love them, you need them, they need you. Okay, so this book was really fun, and I'm really enjoying this book. If you've not looked into this one yet, it's kind of hard because it's all over the place. Like, I feel like when this book was done, it was kind of done quickly or something. I'm not sure. It's only $14.99 US. It's not much at all. And it's just Scott Cunningham. It's not co-written. The Secret Craft of the Wise, Magical Herbalism. Now, when we go to the back to the index, we do find that these are all the pages, if you guys want to know, if you have the book. And I'm sure that that's backwards. I don't know. But it's on page 26, page 90, page 124, page 128, and page 190. Okay. So, cedar. Ah! Seriously, paper cut? Oh, my lordsness. So, it starts actually on page 25. And I'm going to read the whole bit. Not just the part where it particularly talks about cedar. Right now we're in kind of an area of the book where we're learning about altars and days of the week and the moon and the planets and whatnot. Okay, and then it says, preparation for magic. Make sure that you are quite alone in the house and that no one will be coming to visit you. Shut off all heating and cooling devices. Take the phone off the hook. Close all the curtains, shutters, or blinds. Lock windows and doors so that you are perfectly secure and free from fear of discovery. If you cannot be alone in the house, be sure that no one will bother you for a few hours. Tell the others to hold all your calls. Scotty, that's hilarious. Be adamant about this, as it is the best to work with magic without interruption. It is not advisable to have friends present while working magic, as they are more often an inhibitor than a source of added power. Magic is best performed alone unless you and a friend are studying together and have found that you can pool your powers effectively. Irene, I miss you. Get over here so we can do some workings. You gotta stop working so much. I miss you. Okay, so the floor, the dow's here where it starts. The floor of a magic room should be freshly swept and mopped or vacuumed. If there's a fireplace near or in the room itself, light a fire. Preferably oak, pine, holly, hazel, juniper, cedar, poplar, apple, or ashwoods. So basically, that whole thing I was leading up to, it's talking about how to prepare your home for magical workings and what, how you're going to start this and how to not be interrupted. And when you're burning in the fireplace, here are some lovely ones to burn while you're doing your magical workings to enhance them. So when you burn cedar in your fireplace, or in your cauldron a little bit, but particularly in your fireplace, it will enhance the home, it will enhance the magical household, and it will just, it's going to amplify and lift everything, in my opinion. I should actually run over to the magical household and see if there's anything in that book, because I don't think I did check it. Stay. We all are loving this book, aren't we? That Nightmares video, Amino gave me a feature. I was really excited about that. Cedar. Yes! There are loads of pages in here. I'm so glad we figured that out together, you guys. Okay. So cedar. Cedar will be found in this book on pages 13, 25, 108, 134, 163, and 164. So glad we checked. Wow. Okay. So we will get through the rest of this and then we'll jump into this. Alright, so tie up a 4-inch square piece of cheesecloth, half a handful of the mixture, equal parts of vervain, garden mint, basil, thyme, fennel, lavender, rosemary, hyssop, and valerian. This purification bath may be mixed together. That's just a bath. And then it goes on, but the real note about cedar was saying that you can burn it in the house to enhance and make your home a magical place of solace at that moment. Now on page 90, the book's kind of talking about what herbs or things go with different elements. And it says that cedar is an earth element. And now we're on to page... We're on to page 128, and it says, in a prosperity incense, you will use equal parts cloves, nutmeg, lemon balm, poppy seed, and cedar. And then it says, moisten with a few drops of each, honeysuckle oil and almond oil. Make on a Thursday during a waxing moon. Cool. And next we're... Okay. In this part of the book, it's kind of like Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, where it kind of like says something and then says all the, gender, planet, element, deities, what parts are used, etc. Now, it doesn't talk about cedar, but it does talk about pine, and we know that we can use juniper as a substitute, so we could see if there's juniper in here. I'm not going to for sake of time in this video, but you could do that on your own. So pine, gender hot, planet Mars, element earth, associated deities is Cybele, Cybele, Venus, Attis, Pan, and Dionysus. Parts used, the cone, the nuts, and the needles. Basic powers, fertility, and purification. Specific uses, burn the crushed and dried needles in the winter to purify the home. I love doing that, oh my goodness. This is good when mixed with equal parts juniper and cedar. The cones are carried as fertility charms, and the nuts eaten for the same reason. So it's just saying add cedar into that. Pine branches are sometimes used to sweep the forest floor before performing magic outside. Oh, so you can get a big pine branch and kind of... Alright, so that's what I had to say about that there, and that is it in this book. Now we are on to what we just found in the video. Thank you so much, you guys. Again, we're here talking about cedar wood. A wood that is good for rotting relationships as it rots things from the inside out. And it was also good for what you guys love? Powers, healing, purification, money, and protection. That's right. Oh yeah, and cures the bad dreams. Don't forget about that. So now we are into Scott Cunningham and David Harrington's The Magical Household. And we're talking about cedar, which is found again on pages 13, 25, 108, 134, 163, and 164. So we'll start at page 13. I have so many videos to get out to you guys. I'm just trying to work so hard and I'm having so much fun. Okay, so page 13. Not only we have to find it now. Couldn't find it by the scan, I apologize, but we do know it's there. Again, I usually look these up and highlight them beforehand, but we found this on a whim, didn't we? Found cedar. It says here that the following is a list of woods and their magical influences. You might keep these in mind when purchasing new furniture. Awesome. Cedar, healing, longevity, purification, and protection. So longevity, that's something we haven't heard yet. Now we're on to page 108. And found it. Weather protection sachet has cedar, mistletoe, and bay. Place these 3 items in a piece of white cloth. Tie it together with white yarn and hang it in the highest place in the house or the chimney. If you wish to place some household protectants outdoors, there are many spells you can use. Oh, it goes on. So that is a weather protection sachet. to protect your house from, I'm guessing, weather like lightning, flooding, things like that. Wicked! That was so quick, awesome, and easy, and that would be a really fun video. Now we're on to page 134. Cedar, where are you? Spirit guides, show me Cedar. Oh, there. It happens that quick. Oh my god, that was so funny. Okay, so what does it say? We are in a part called The Magical Year, and it's talking about Yule and everything. If you don't have a fireplace, you can make a Yule candle. Buy the largest, fattest red candle you can find, or better yet, make one. I'm going to get into candle making. I'm so excited about it. But yeah, we'll be doing that eventually on my channel when I get money for the supplies. With an ice pick, carve the figure of a blazing sun on the side of the candle. Then place it in a holder or on a heat-proof tray. Ring its base with holly, pine, mistletoe, cedar, rosemary, bay, juniper, and other evergreen plants. So now we're learning that the cedar is an evergreen plant, just like all those other things. Burn the candle on Yule evening. If you want it to burn all night, place it in a cauldron or a large bowl and ring the cauldron itself with the greens. That's really cool. So, just something that you can do on Yule for, it says like a Yule log in place of a Yule log. Okay, next we're on to page 163. And it's just for new witches and people in the craft. It's just awesome to be noting this in a book of shadows. Make a page called Cedar, and as we do this video, you write down all the notes you want to take. That's what a lot of people are doing, and I think that that's so awesome. Okay, now we are in a chapter of Magical Household called the Household Altar. And it's talking about burning incense regularly is a highly recommended magical household practice. Perhaps the best incense for daily use is the jaw stick type, which can easily be lit and placed in a bowl of sand or an incense burner. Choose incenses not only for their scents, but also their powers and influences as described here. Cedar, purification, money, and healing. Just like Wicca in the kitchen is different from this book, because one of them is using it for magic, and in the kitchen is ingesting it and the magic of that. This is telling us the magic of burning cedar, and it's different from the magic of just using it in your magics. So wicked. So cedar, purification, money, and healing. Those are the qualities when it's in an incense and burned, okay? And now we're on to the next page, which is 164, and there's another thing on cedar, and it is a house purification incense. And it is 1 part cedar, 1 part sandalwood, and 1 part myrrh. Grind, mix, and burn in the house when needed. That's it. I mean, I'm so happy with what we just did. I have myrrh and I have cedar. I don't have sandalwood, but maybe I could substitute that instead for like Palo Santo or pine or something. And we could do up that little house purification incense. You guys, I had a really fun and beautiful time with you. Thank you for joining me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, while we talked about cedar in magic and in witchcraft. All my love to you guys. See you soon.